What is up, everybody? I want to show you what I've done in the last couple of days on this thing, give you a quick update. Before I begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified whenever I upload new videos on this build. So the first thing I want to show you is the AC hatch. So let me start with this story before I begin. When I was in college, I had a roommate, PJ. PJ, shout out if you're watching this. And we had a dishwasher. So the apartment we lived in, there's no dishwasher. Everybody on college campus, nobody had dishwashers. But we had this like really kind of ghetto, like countertop mounted dishwasher. It was really noisy. It plugged into the sink. It was kind of funky, but it worked. It got the job done, right? And so one time PJ and I are sitting there watching TV. The dishwasher's running, making all kind of noise. And PJ looked over at me and he goes, "You know, Mike, most people don't like the sound of the dishwasher, but I like listening to it because it reminds me that we don't have to do the dishes." So that's exactly what I've done here with my AC hatch. I wanted to be able to close this thing off because I didn't want to have to envision I'm going to have, you know, framing here, walls, and then the AC unit's going to actually sit inside of that. Obviously, I still have to build that, but that's what I have in mind. And I didn't want to have to go, I mean, it was kind of like giving me a panic attack thinking about how I'm going to waterproof this whole thing. And so then it kind of hit me. I was like, I just need to be able to have a door that I can close underneath. And so I sat out here for probably like an hour just staring at this thing thinking, you know, through the whole process. And I was like, you know, the AC is going to be running, it's going to be condensating, and then it's going to be time for me to leave, and I'm going to have to crawl under this thing, like right in the middle. It's going to be really nasty. Then I started thinking, why did I even put it here in the front? You know, why didn't I put it on the side or over here where I could easily get to it and do all that stuff? And so then it kind of hit me. I have, if you guys know me very well, I have chickens, and I like to pretty much automate everything about taking care of those chickens at least as much as I can. And so a long time ago, I bought a couple linear actuators and put it on their doors and set it up on smart door switches so that, you know, they automatically get let out in the morning and get put up at night. It used to be a big problem around here. Like as soon as the sun started to set, the raccoons would come and eat one. So I set it to, you know, right before sunset to shut that door. I quit losing chickens. It was awesome. Well, I had an extra one that I wasn't using, and so I put it on here. So let me show you. Flip that switch. And there it goes. Like I said, it's noisy. It takes a long time. It's a little bit annoying. But I don't have to get on my back and move that. It's incredible to me. So now the AC can condensate and it can drip down onto the ground. And I can close it before I go somewhere to keep any water from splashing up. Now, I do have a couple things I need to do. I need to add some extra weather stripping. I don't have enough right now because I want to make sure it doesn't have to be like 100% sealed, but it has to be protected enough to keep water from flowing up. So I installed this little, this dual polarity switch to go left or right, but the actuator actually quits. So I don't have to come in here and turn it off when it's done. Now, as for wiring this thing up, I'm planning, because I don't want to keep a battery on this thing full time, so I'm planning on just wiring it to my marker lights. So to open or shut the hatch, I have to have it hooked up to my Jeep with my headlights on in order for that to work. I am going to put power in this thing, but I just don't want to have a battery on board 24/7. So I'll more on that later when I actually get to the electrical system. But this is on here just to keep bugs from flying up and building nests in it. Actually, it's mostly to keep out rats. I hate rats and mice. Anything I can do to keep them out, I'm all for. Even though that hatch being shut should be enough to keep anything out, this will keep them out when it's open. And again, it's going to be, like I said, isolated from the inside, so no worries there. You know, I guess it's just extra precautions. As for mounting the AC unit, I've drilled out these holes, and then I added, let me go around to the AC unit. So on this AC unit, I drilled this hole out and I added a riv nut. So basically the AC unit will go on, and then from the bottom I can screw my riv nut in. I also, when in that 2-hour-long session where I was just thinking about how I'm going to use this AC unit, I also was like, well, you know, these things fail over time. So I need to have a way to be able to swap it out in case it ever fails. And so everything I need to be able to access without taking the whole camper apart just to pull it out. So from underneath, I can put those riv nuts in. I put a little piece of weather stripping back here on the back, if you can see that, just to kind of help dampen some of the vibration. I may end up needing another piece, but that's going to go on this. This is just a piece. Again, this was, I use self-tappers and stuff to bolt this up. So if I ever have to change the AC unit and I need to move this, it's just a matter of repositioning it and putting some self-tappers in. And then obviously, hopefully this part was self-explanatory, but this hatch will be opened when I'm running the AC, and then I can close it, and then that will protect the fins and stuff from rocks getting thrown up at it. And then I can open it to exhaust, and then if it's winter camping, I can keep it closed. So that's all for right now for the AC. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the flooring. I haven't glued this down yet, but I was talking about getting a wood filler and filling those screw holes, and I did, and that actually ended up working great. My wife helped me pick out this vinyl flooring. We just went to Home Depot and bought it. They sell it in 12-foot rolls, and you tell them how much you want. They roll it out of their machine and cut it. So they said that they always add a couple extra inches because their machine isn't 100% perfect, so that's kind of a bummer. I am not good at cutting this kind of stuff. Maybe I should have done some research before. You can see I did not do a very good job getting that perfectly lined up, but I don't really care because I think I'm going to have my bed on this side. Plus, when I actually put up my paneling on the wall, hopefully there's enough to cover some of this stuff. Now, I haven't glued it down yet, but that will be the next thing that I do here at some point. I kind of wanted to get all 4 of my walls in. I don't know, it was like a chicken and the egg thing. It seemed like it'd be easier to put in when there were no walls because I could walk all the way around it. But then I thought, well, what if my wall is imperfect and I have to make slight adjustments to it, and I've glued this down and now it's in the way. So I just got it rough cut in, and then when I finish putting this back wall in, I'll finish that part up. I did get some advice from my dad on what to do here. My dad is definitely more of a carpenter than I am. In fact, if you look around here, you can probably tell I'm not that great of a carpenter, but I have remembered how much easier it is working with wood than it is with steel. There's pros and cons. When you have steel, it is what it says it is. If you've got 2-inch square, it's 2-inch square, and it's not bent, it's not bowed, I mean, at least it shouldn't be. It should be perfectly straight. When you go to Home Depot and you buy a 2x2, I mean, they are pretty bad. Look at some of the, I don't know if there's like a rule that says that, look at that thing. That's ridiculous. Anyway, so when I was there, I was trying to be picky, but I needed so many 2x2s, and all of them were terrible, so I just ended up grabbing a handful of bundles. And amazingly enough, once you get everything screwed in, they all kind of straighten out. I don't know, maybe it's because when I cut them, I tried to keep the straight pieces. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. What I'm going to do down here is he said to go ahead and rip me a piece that's as close to that as I can get it, and then use wood glue and glue it to the bottom of my 2x2 and run it all the way along. That way, when I set the floor base piece down, the base or whatever you call that, the footer, down, it's nice and level. And he said once you glue them, if you glue the right side of the grain, he was telling me, you know, not the cut end, the outsides, he said it sticks together and bonds stronger than wood. So that's what I'm going to try to do. It almost doesn't matter. If I just had something here to hold it, to shim it, that would be all that I need. You know, but I do want to run those big self-tappers through the floor to hold it down. So anyway, I haven't done the back yet just because this is the last one. I haven't even drawn up how I'm going to frame the back. The main things I need to keep in mind are I'm going to have my headlights back here. This is where my power comes in. For the low voltage trailer wiring, and I'll probably just actually do that and then push it up and then put my flooring down so they run in. This is going to be a little cargo hatch. I'll build a little box around that, so then I can just run the wires up the wall or something to staple it. So anyway, now to the framing. I guess you know, it is what it is. You know, this is kind of what I had in mind. This is the exciting part of the project because you can actually kind of start seeing what you designed come together. So I guess I'll just run over it real quick and kind of show you what I have. Obviously, so the window, the door, the hatch, that stuff is just set in right now for demonstration purposes, and because I was measuring it out and everything. It's not, I have to take it off whenever I actually put the siding on, obviously. So that's just there for demonstration purposes. So what I did was I've got 2x2s. I've glued these to the subfloor. I've also screwed them, and let me show you these screws. I haven't been able to find these things down here, but I saw these at Menards when I was up in Kansas. These are 3-inch, okay? I've seen like 2.5. They sell 2.5, which wouldn't have been long enough, but you can see the 3-inch. If I have it level, there's still some teeth that are going to be gripping into my steel. So, and most of these I've actually countersunk a little bit just by running them in real hard. These things are a bear to get put in. They're a Phillips 3 head, but man, I have high hopes for them. So I overkilled this like I did before. The flooring itself is screwed down pretty good. So even if I just have screws running my framing down to my flooring, that should be pretty good. On top of that, gluing these down to the framing should be pretty good. But then on top of that, I've got these things going all the way down into steel. And along this front, I've covered this one up. Oh, no, I haven't. Sorry, I haven't even, that was just sitting there. I've got 8 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't do anything under the hatch. 5, 6, 7, 8. That one I covered up. That one has been glued. And then on the sides, I didn't do as many because they're not taking as much of a headwind. But I did, let's see, 1, I think 2, 3, 4. And I did put one under the hatch here, 5 and 6. So anyway, and now the other thing I want to point out is the door over here. I just bought this thing. I haven't finished framing. Don't judge me yet. I'm still playing with sticks. But this door seems to work out pretty darn well. You know, I mean, you see that? Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can. I'm sitting here moving it and the whole trailer's moving. So that just kind of shows you how the box is actually pretty secure. Anyway, that's my update. It's pretty exciting. I still don't know what I'm going to do about the fenders. I think I'm probably just going to end up having to break down and buy a big piece of diamond plate. I think I did some research and it looks like 14 gauge should be fine. That's about the thinnest I can get at my steel supply place. 14-inch diamond plate, a 4x8 sheet right now, current pricing here in Texas, $181. That's going to be a big pill to swallow. But at the same time, the nice thing about steel plates like that is it's going to last forever. I think it's around 75 or so pounds worth of steel just for this. You know, I'm going to cut it so that it fits here on the basket. And then I'll probably use some of the extra maybe to try to fab up a fender for this wheel. I was thinking right here I may put a box, a plug, an exterior plug, and so if I use 14 gauge as my fender, it would be strong enough that I could use it as a little table space. So that's kind of a little added bonus, I guess. Like I said, I'm going to go over more electrical stuff later, but I've got plugs. I got a duplex plug on top and a duplex plug on bottom. I'm going to have this one, or 4 of them. One's going to go to the interior lights. One's going to go to a roof fan, vent fan. One's going to go to all my marker lights, and also, you know, to be able to run my AC hatch if I turn that on, because it'll be on the same circuit. And then the last one, I'll probably put a light strip out here on the front to light up the outside. That's what I got so far. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this video series as much as I am enjoying building this thing. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like it.